It's a little tight with 2 people.
Yeah, I think we can make it work.
We'll have to.
Review of this couch?
Small. You reviewed it last year. What did you give it?
I gave it an 8.5. I did that so that it would just cover your face. But yeah, no, 8.5. I thought it was okay. I know
8.5's really high. It doesn't sound like okay. That sounds like you really liked it.
No, I did like it so the big thing for me was that I get not all the changes were for me, if that makes sense. But that's not what this is about. This is about the new guy.
It's about the new guy. And with that, here are 7 things you need. Oh my God, you just dropped the controller.
7 things.
7 things. There are 7 things you need to know about NHL 19.
First thing you need to know about NHL 19 is that the skating is cool. They changed it. So they changed the skating
changed it
mechanics.
entirely.
Yes.
It feels good.
That is 100% the most different thing about the game. I think it's the thing that they would tell you they changed the most, and I believe them. It really does feel different.
A lot of the times when people make changes, especially when it's gameplay tweaks, it feels like just something you can say that's fancy on the back of the box that you kind of barely feel. This does feel entirely different.
Yeah.
You can turn properly.
For a while, it was basically either you could turn in any direction at any speed you wanted, or you could go in a straight line and nothing else.
Yes.
And now it's kind of just like a nice blend. It almost feels like you're playing hockey.
You really feel it in certain modes when there's less people on the ice as well.
Yeah, just feels good. And it feels different, which I think is a key part of this. So if we're using our scale of...
Nah. I'm giving this a yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I'm
into it. This genuinely feels like a vast improvement over the skating, to the point where I would say the gameplay feels different. So anyone who's trying to say this is just a roster update, the skating feels different. I don't know why I just threatened you I didn't make this game.
It feels different.
It does feel different.
Some other stuff doesn't.
Maybe not as different. Maybe not as different. Yeah. The second thing you need to know. World of Chell. I don't know. This feels like something that was a bit of a miss. I like that they did something ambitious. They went out and tried something because they see that other games out there, kind of like NBA 2K, they have my player modes that are so extensive. There's just so much you can do. You have a damn neighborhood you can walk around in. There's definitely a level of immersion in these games, a world that people build off and they hang out in for a long time and spend $30 real on haircuts for.
Only way to sign this skitty. Hopping out the rave for skitty.
Thankfully, you don't have to do that part in this game. But with that being said, it feels very surface level at this point.
There is no world.
Not really.
It's just like a couple game modes trapped inside of this game mode that they've created.
Yes.
And a bunch of them are old game modes that already existed.
It feels
just like, now you can have toques. Adidas hoodies. Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but they like Adidas in the game.
But the problem here is that the majority of the options in that mode comes from skins. And that's not nearly enough to really be a full recommend as a great new mode. It doesn't really feel like enough of a world. Again, there's 4 separate modes. Pro-Am, 1s, NHL 3s, EASHL, and they're all just kind of tacked into this one thing via a menu. It's not like there's some kind of interconnected world
it's not like you can
to
walk
speak
to
of.
Them. It's not like, oh, go hit the rink and play ones at the ones rink. No, it's just a menu.
It's just kind of a menu, and they've all just conveniently slapped them into one mode. And I'm not saying that they had to make some kind of playground copy that you had to walk around within, but it would have been nice to even have a home rink that you could just kind of go around.
100%. That's the one thing that everybody wanted for EASHL for so long, because they had it in the past, and it was a practice mode that you could do in it. You could practice with your teammates, you could practice by yourself, it was all this stuff. If that was a thing for this, 1, it's a world, 2, it's something everybody already wants, so you're just pleasing everybody. That would have made so much sense, and they don't have anything like that really. And if I'm going through the modes, I don't know if you differ on opinion on this. Pro-Am, useless.
This just felt like I was oh cool, Brock Besser and his 2 pals on his team.
And they're just 2 other NHLers. It could have been any of their teams. You just chose a random name, and there's no difficulty change.
The New York Islanders look like convicts in their uniforms.
Don't you idiots get it? We could get a free shot at the gods.
It doesn't feel like a world, is really what I would say. And I think if that's what you're going for, is something similar to the 2K model, which is, to me, it's pretty clear that's what they're kind of going for.
Yeah.
It lacks the depth for me to really kind of be yeah, this is a really cool addition. It's something that could be cool in the future. If they build from here, absolutely. But right now, to me,
it's too bare bones. You need some meat on that thing.
It's a light in there.
It's bare bones.
Because it's not bad. It's just,
we see the potential. We see what you want to do. Just didn't execute this year. Let's see it. Let's see if it improves.
Bring it back next year with more stuff.
The one thing that we didn't really talk about within the World of Chell is actually the third thing you need to know about NHL 19. Ones.
NHL 1s, all it is 1v1v1. Got 3 people on the ice.
And a goalie.
I had a lot of fun playing 1s. For the first, hour I played it, I was like, oh, this is dope.
We talked about it. You know what it feels like? In FIFA, when you're loading
Yeah.
a game and you're just playing a little skill game,
The
right?
skill games in between the load screens.
I would love to play ones on a load screen because
Yeah.
it's really fun.
It's great. It is fun, but
It leads to nothing. You can get points, obviously, to get your toques and jackets and stuff. If I'm out here saying I didn't buy Fortnite skins, yeah, for sure I did, because you don't want to look like a loser.
you don't want to look like a no skin.
So skins are a big thing, but there needs to be another part of it. I like ones. It was fun. It's not really anything to it. It's just kind of it's a menu game.
They're really trying to get casual fans with a lot of these new modes that they're bringing in. Last year, obviously, 3s. That was huge, and that was definitely trying to bring in the casual people. This could have been huge for that. 1s. And I can't play it offline.
Yeah.
In what world does that make sense? I'll tell you what world it doesn't make sense in.
The world of Chell.
1s,
I like it, but it's just
it's
not quite there.
It's okay.
The fourth thing you need to know about NHL 19 is the nerfs. They have nerfed a bunch of stuff, which has made other stuff more effective, and the number one thing, I'm sure you've heard about it already, poke checks.
There's a lot of tripping penalties, a lot of 5-on-3s early on.
You get used to it. It's like a good thing. I don't think a lot of people are treating it like a good thing, but actually, I think we both agree it is.
I like it. I'm tired of people just being able to spam the poke check button. I am all for making people actually have to make a decision
Yeah.
and
be like,
time things out.
100%. Couldn't agree more. One thing that's way more effective this year, which I think everybody loves, is hitting. You can lay people out.
Lay
It's
down.
yeah. I would normally assume if the poke check's not as useful, there'd be more goals and more nice goals, and there isn't.
They kind of toned it back as far as being able to score certain goals, and I would say the frequency in which they happen is a lot closer to real life. It's
Not as many short sides.
It's dope going short side, but yeah, that happens way less in this game. You can't
Yeah.
just rely on it.
I hope this is one of the things that adapts as the game grows, because I don't know if it's just people finding out how to score or whatever. If I'm losing from 5 goals where the guy's basically standing on the goal line and clapping it in just because there was any cross crease movement at all, I want to score some dirty dangles. I want to show off some nifty mitts. I want to pull a little Datsu, but there's just not enough room right now. And maybe I'm just bad, but I can't do it.
Number 5, Hut. Out of the two of us, Corwin is the Hut fanatic.
I think it's pretty good. Realistically, they really didn't change that much. I don't think they needed to. They have the sets, which are always fun. They have the Hut Champion season, which is cool. They have draft champions, all fun stuff, competitive online. Even actually the Hut challenges, I think, are one of the funnest things. You can just kind of go through and choose actual different challenges, which when you look at the NHL Pro-Am, I feel like this is what it could have been, where
Yeah.
they have challenges that are like, oh, you should get a shutout, or you should score this kind of goal, or different things like that, actually make sense as a challenge, not just beat that teams.
It's a mode that works and has worked, and as long as they maintain it and have cool challenges and cool new cards, that's kind of what Hut's going to be judged by.
It's gonna be a yeah.
Yeah.
The sixth thing you need to know about NHL 19 is that they brought in some legends and they didn't do it right.
Wayne Gretzky is on the cover of this game, if you got the Legendary Edition.
And he's rated 97. That's not even what we're gonna make the point about, but what? Just such a bad start,
make
and
him
you can
99.
just explain the rest.
Just make him 99. But, yeah, that's not even what we're going to harp on. I like that they have Jacques Plante in net with no mask. I like that I can play as Guy Lafleur. I like that Joe Sakic's in there.
All
I like
good
that
stuff.
Teemu Selänne's there.
I love it.
Even though he has the wrong Jofa helmet. I like all of those things. I like having all those players. Why can I not use them except for on an alumni team or in Hut? Why can't I put them in franchise mode? Why can I not just put them on offline mode? Why can't I add Wayne Gretzky to the Oilers or Messier to the Rangers? Why?
It's
Why
the one
have
thing
these
you would
things?
want to do. The worst part, not only can't do that, but the jerseys they're wearing.
It looks like someone's like, okay, make it look like a beer league jersey, and it looks like a beer.
Yeah,
like a literal beer. And people have the wrong numbers. You can have the same numbers on your Hut team, and Peter Forsberg's wearing 23. You have something nice, and you didn't go the full way with it. And to the point where I'm like, if this cost money and took money away from other parts of the game,
Yes,
and this
yeah.
is how you're gonna handle the legends, just don't do it and make another part of the game better. All of these players that you've added into this game should have been available in other game modes. And to me, because of that makes all of this legend stuff, nah. How do I see him in an Oilers jersey? I don't want to pick that for Hut. The 7th thing you need to know.
Franchise mode.
Yep. Okay.
You're the offline guy. You let me have Hut.
Okay, so they have made changes to franchise mode. Again, though, this is a bit of a familiar theme in this review right now. I don't think they've done nearly enough. It's very middle of the road still. First and foremost, let's just get this out of the way. GM Connected still not in there. You already knew that because there would have been 10,000 trailers for it. All of us would have just rejoiced in this game and really, really loved that because GM Connected was awesome.
Yeah.
They changed the scouting system, which is great. It's a way more depth to that. And another thing that they added as well, Fog of War is what they call it. You don't necessarily see all the ratings for other players in the NHL. You have to scout people to really kind of see again how players are doing. Just during the season, if you're trying to trade for people, you gotta have your scouts on people to see who's doing what and how they're doing. I like that. It's a little rough to do that in Reorg because, you know, you're used to just being able to see overall, and at first it's kind of like, what the hell? Like,
It's gonna feel weird.
yeah,
For sure.
you feel like more that something's been taken away than that something's been added. But I think later down the line that you'll like that, and it's gonna
It's more
add
rewarding.
more rewarding. It's gonna add immersion to it. But that being said, outside of that, not a ton of changes. At least, again, significant ones. I like training players. Add skill games into this. Skill games in franchise mode because it's fun. It's fun to work on your younger players, something that really keeps you invested over the course of more than just 2 or 3 seasons in franchise mode.
And it makes you better at the game.
Yeah.
There's a couple minor things that you probably are wondering, like we didn't mention.
Yes.
EA SHL, which, I don't know, the drop-in mode is kind of annoying me because, like, I can't get in because I don't have any friends. It'll probably
yeah,
change.
they'll fix the servers. They'll be fine. But
Yeah.
at the time of this review, it was hard to find a game.
Be a pro.
Be a pro. What's happening? What's happening?
What's up?
What's up?
What's
What's
up, Be a
good?
pro? What's up?
That mode feels relatively untouched.
Yeah.
If not entirely untouched. Okay, so we've reached the end here.
Last year we gave NHL 18 and 8.5. This year, it honestly, how I see it is like, you know, in like the second season of a TV show where it's not like your favorite season, but you understand that it's just setting up a lot of stuff.
Necessary.
Yeah.
It's a building block.
100%. That feels like this.
Gameplay mechanics, the changes, excellent. I love that direction they went in. I think it actually changed it in a positive way that made the game feel new, feel fresh, feel different. But here's the second part. The game modes that got added and some of the features like Legends, that's where it honestly, it holds the score back because I don't think a lot of it was fleshed out quite enough to really kind of raise the score from last year. And I think because of that, this year we're going to give it an 8.